Second time saying this. I bumped into my mic, accidentally unplugged it. Only like a few seconds to the vid. We good. Look, right. I said this shit literally last recording. Be careful. You not trying to get cut by the sharpest lining in the city. Alright. Straight into it.
To spend $1 trillion in 24 hours, you would need to buy out that entire dealership every single second. You need to think bigger. Let's hire 100 people to track down the 100 most expensive yachts and buy them for us. And let's throw in $1 million bonus for...
This is just unreasonable, my nigga. You give them all a Big Mac that's fucking filled with gold bricks?
each mercenary. That'll be around a $40 billion check, but let's also
This is
buy the
unreasonable,
biggest
bro.
cruise ship of all time for $2 billion and fill it up to maximum capacity, paying for everyone's tickets and tossing in a Rolex too.
First of all, why, nigga, get $1 million Rolex? Why the Rolex gotta be 10,000? We're trying to spend $1 trillion.
Let's make
Bro, if you can't spend, is that Mr. Beast?
use of this ship's basketball court by buying up every single NBA
Nigga, you can't. This makes no sense.
tossing in a Rolex too. Let's make use of this ship's basketball court by buying up every single NBA team and having them battle it out. Then let's get Snoop Dogg, Katy Perry, Justin Bieber, and Beyonce to perform for us before sending them off to the internet.
Nigga, what? Yo, come on, makes sense, bro.
Rocket that costs $55 million per passenger. Now that you're hanging with rich people, you need a status symbol. You could buy the world's most expensive art piece for $500 million, but why would you do that? When
Or
you
you could
buy
literally
the entire
just
Metropolitan Museum of Art for $100 billion, and then we could go over to transaction failed.
Yep.
There's no way
Or
we're-
you could just like buy I don't know, a country, or really just give this all to a certain, like give like 900 billion. No. Get like 900 billion to a person. Let them have it. Spent. All right. You take the other 100 billion. You give billions to, I don't know, something. All right. I don't give a fuck. Give it something. Then all you're left with is like 1 million or 5 million, because that's really all you need to buy everything you ever wanted in life, really. Unless you want like a mansion, which is actually, no, keep yourself with 100 billion, because a lot of y'all motherfuckers gonna want mansions. A lot of y'all gonna want $1 million cars, $1 million, a lot of things. All right, a lot of unnecessary shit for $1 million fucking dollars. So, yep, yep. Me personally, I think I would, if I had 100 billion, I would buy a really expensive mansion for like millions and millions and millions and millions, hundreds of millions. Get the most best PC in the world. I'd get that's really, I can't think of anything else. Am I bugging for not thinking of anything else? Mansion, obviously the furniture, clothes, guns. Consoles, shoes. I can't think of
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, we still have
Jewelry,
800 billion.
jewelry.
The
Jewelry.
Metropolitan Museum is an educational institution whose assets are held for the public benefit and are not owned by... You know what? Forget about the Met. The entirety of New York City is worth around 1.3 trillion. There are currently
Buy that! What? Nigga, buy that!
33,210
Buy half of that, more than half.
So let's hire 33,000 people to snatch those up for us, and of course throw in a 100K commission. But here's something you need to think about.
Why just
The
100K?
most expensive real
Do not
estate
think-
purchase in U.S. history was this $240 million concrete brick. That might sound like a lot of money, but you spending $240 million is like an average person spending $60. I think instead...
Glaze me more. Holy, bro. Nigga, just call me
million is like an average
Elon,
person
Mr.
spending
Beast.
$60. I think instead of buying
Glaze me
houses,
more,
you should
brother,
build
please.
a mega project. The sky is truly your limit. You can build your project wherever you want. If there's people in the way, buy them
Oh,
out
look at
with
that
your
little
pocket
dog.
change. Or maybe
Buy them
try
out.
to
Just
wherever
buy
you
them
want.
out of
If there's
existence. She
people in the
disappeared,
way,
my nigga.
Buy them out with your pocket
Nigga,
change.
she's gone.
Or maybe try the Saudi Arabia method and relocate.
Nigga, she
into a
vanished.
graveyard. Actually, I think the Middle East is exactly where we need to go. So let's buy one Gulfstream G650 for each day of the year and fly across the world.
For each day of the year.
Welcome to
365.
the Arabian Peninsula, where people will build literally anything. The world's biggest picture frame, the world's largest clock, the massivest cube.
Wait, is
with
it
the
365 or 356? I think it's 356.
tallest structure
Okay, yeah, it's
ever,
356. I'm tripping.
man-made sinking islands shaped after the world map from memory. These are cool. Let's build an even bigger artificial
Nigga,
island.
that looks like a, yo, whatever this is, it looks like a Titan's. It looked like a Titan. It looked like a Titan from AOT, my nigga. Wait, no. It looked like the Attack Titans. No, wait. Wait, what? Yeah, this. I thought this was called. Wait, what? This is called Founding Titan? Is it? That can't be true. That's called the Founding Titan. Word. Okay.
20 billion. Of course, we can't forget about labor cost, so for that,
Yeah,
let's
all those
budget in
Indians.
$10.
I don't know, that
Then
shit
let's
stink.
buy every single one of those
$10?
cost, so for that, let's budget in $10.
You mean 10 million? 10 billion?
Then
What?
let's buy every single one of those mega projects I just showed you for a total donation of $101,292,010 to our Middle Eastern boys. But while you're here, take a look at the Burj Khalifa, the current tallest building in the world. If you were to stack $1 bills to the very top, the tower would be worth $7.58 million. You still need to spend 87,000 times that, a stack so high it would go past the International Space Station. If you ever want to spend this money, you need to stop thinking in real estate and start thinking in 51st state. Do you see where I'm going with this? Buy a country. In 2010, the country
yep,
of
that's what I said.
Liechtenstein put itself on Airbnb at 70 grand a night. This is literally
Or
nothing.
buy
You
island
can't
or
be
some
looking
shit.
at countries hoeing themselves out for pennies. You need the ultimate prize. Somewhere cooler. Somewhere strategic. Let's buy Greenland. Based on the market price of its
Greenland.
mineral reserves,
Word.
the world's biggest island has a price tag
Look
of
at
around
all of
200
that.
billion. We can afford that. But
Nasty.
there's one small thing in our way. During Trump's first term, when he proposed the conquest of Greenland, the country dismissed the
Didn't
idea
Trump
as
recently free Young Boy, or was that some bullshit? Was that bullshit, or did Trump
completely
recently just free Young
ridiculous
Boy?
and firmly stated that Greenland is not for sale.
Damn.
Huh. Let's buy an F-35 for $80 million.
What? Yo,
Fuck it.
what you gonna do?
2 F-35s.
What you gonna do with that?
10, 100, 2 aircraft carriers, 3 destroyer ships, 1
Nah, this nigga's
ballistic
going to
missile
war. He's going to
submarine,
war. All guys going to war.
57,000 Blackwater soldiers, 1 for every
He's
citizen
going to
of
war.
Greenland. Now we have a $50 billion makeshift military.
This nigga want to personally hunt down every citizen in Greenland and kill them, personally. Each kid, bro. What?
It looks like Greenland's for sale after all. But by this point in your trillionaire spending spree, people are starting to take notice. Your exploits might not have hit TikTok yet, but rumblings are beginning behind closed governmental doors. Luckily for you, there's not much politicians can say once you own them. Buy a politician. We got Trump here for $1.5 billion. Kamala is almost $2 billion, but you do get a free Joe Biden. Let's buy up both of those and every sitting member of the Senate and House.
Both
for a
of
grand
those. This nigga said.
total of
This nigga said
7.2
both of
billion
those.
for the entirety of
7
American
billion
politics.
for the.
This is a great deal, but there's a catch. Money influences politics, but it doesn't always decide it. I mean, look at the presidential race. Democrats outspent Republicans and still lost because $2 billion can't buy aura. More recently, Elon dropped millions of dollars campaigning for an election in Wisconsin, only to find out that shit no longer works when everyone hates you. Even BlackRock doesn't always get what they want. $1 trillion gives you access to
Okay.
almost everything. But culture and public perception are things that are not for sale.
Right.
Just kidding. Let's buy every single media company. The Washington Post, Time Magazine,
Yo,
the
this
New
thing is
York Times,
crazy.
Comcast, Fox. Global
Yeah.
ad spend for an entire year is around $1 trillion. That averages to $3 billion a day. So let's run 1 week straight of propaganda and we should be good. But if you're still getting heat, there's one final
This is a day though. We're doing this in 24 hours
method
though.
you can use. A donation a day.
We don't got a
keeps
week.
The guillotine away. It's time for philanthropy. There are a lot of causes to choose from, but you should start off with the people most in need. The US government. America is currently $36 trillion broker than a homeless person. That
Give him a
number is
trillion.
increasing by $2 trillion a year. Luckily, we now have you. 220 billion honestly isn't gonna do much, but it's definitely gonna help. Assuming of course that the US government efficiently manages a $250 billion cash injection. You might be wondering how you're gonna send the money. And the answer is
How much we got left?
pay.gov,
220
an official
billion?
website where you can make donations to the US government to reduce the public debt. So let's just enter in your 220 billion right here and well, turns out the maximum amount the Treasury accepts is only $1 million.
Does that say 220 billion?
You just bought the government
Chat.
amount right here.
Does that say
and-
220 billion?
Well, turns out the maximum amount the Treasury accepts is only $1 million. You just bought the government a bag of screws from Lockheed Martin. Maybe your money will put a bigger dent into medical debt. See, unlike the government, broke people dying of cancer aren't allowed to print more money to pay off their crippling obligations. Instead, their unpaid debts get sold off to collections for pennies on the dollar. But because of this discount, charities like Undo Medical Debt can erase $100 worth of debt
Yo, are
for
we
every
serious?
$1 donation they receive. And with that ratio, you could wipe out all the medical debt in the US for just $2.2 billion. But what about world hunger? The UN estimated it would take 40 billion
Why he had to
each
bring
year
up the
to end
Why he had
world
to bring up the black folks when he said hunger?
hunger by 2030. We could afford that. Next, how about we help out malnourished
Nah,
and
this nigga's
starving
talking years,
college
bro.
students? Student loan debt in the US totals 1.777 trillion, with the government loaning out 87.2 billion a year. But before we try to attack this, there's a slight problem. Once universities catch wind that trillionaire Jesus is bailing out their victims, they'll probably just jack up their prices. On top of that, paying off loans might be seen as unfair to older generations who had to pay their way through college and pick themselves up by their bootstraps. Turns out philanthropy isn't as easy as it seems.
It's not easy. Building Amazon was not easy. Philanthropy is very similar. It's really hard.
I agree with Jeffrey.
Bezos.
Let's just buy another $500 million yacht.
Yo,
That's enough philanthropy for today. You still
Does he
have
even have that
60
much left?
billion left.
Yep.
And I think I know how to spend it. It might be semi-cheating, but hear me out.
right.
37% of Americans can't afford an unexpected purchase
He
over
finally
$400.
can come with some sweet shit.
Being a trillionaire, your passive income earns you $400 every 0.126 seconds. The median net worth under 35 is $39,000. As a trillionaire, you could exchange your toilet paper with rolls of $39,000 bills for your entire lifetime and it wouldn't put a dent in your finances. $1 trillion gives you horizons
Please me more.
incomprehensible to the normal paycheck to
Please me
paycheck
more.
living human. Even after your spending spree, you still have so much money left that it gives you too many options. You could launch space programs, clean up the ocean, fund institutions. 24 hours just isn't enough time for this much fun. So let's buy more time. Make yourself a trust and safely store your money in it. Now, all of those humanity shifting endeavors, you can sleep on them, on the world's most expensive bed.
You will make $6 billion per year passively forever. Are we dead serious? First, it went from hours to months to years. And now this nigga's talking about saving. I'm done. I'm done. I'm trying to set my camera up where it originally was. And it cut out. And it cut out. All right, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye. Goodbye. That's it.